This season on $1 Million Listing New York.
Apparently, there's a new shark in the pool. Steve Gold's coming here today.
I'm Steve Gold. Last year I sold well over 100 million in real estate.
Let's do it.
Now you're like this big Mr. Broker.
My goal this year is 200 million.
Wow. Holy sh**. This place is insane.
What? It's a real golden shower.
It's 100 feet long.
That's what they all say. That's what all the men say to me.
Hold on a second. Take your pants off.
Ah, it's so funny.
This is where the magic happens.
Where the shagging happens. This staircase. Oh my God!
How about some music?
I invited you to give you the assignment of your life.
What number are you looking for?
13.
25.
400 million. We have over 100 developments in Brooklyn. We're hoping you're the guy to do it.
100 houses?
Got a deal.
$10 million.
That's it?
We gave you a price point that we wanted. We expect you to get it.
God damn it.
Ryan's a little stressed out.
I'm out of here, man. Good luck selling this place then.
Thank you.
If this was just some kind of a dupe to get us in the door, we're gonna have to go in a different direction.
So, babe, it's that time again.
It's not meant to be. Something has not been right.
If you could get them up, we could talk.
You listen to me, motherfucker. If they want to come up, you know how to reach me. Otherwise, never call me again.
Do you know why we're here? I never, in my life, ever thought this was gonna happen.
It feels like something's missing, and I'm just sort of stuck.
Cheers. I'd like to find someone that I could spend the rest of my life with.
Did you get Botox?
Not yet. It's just hard to find in this city.
I'm great to live with. You're the difficult one.
I'm not
I need Mary Faye.
I don't know what's happening.
We were just talking about you.
There he is.
I just got a boner. Hello.
That's a fun trailer, man. This season looks exciting. You know, tell us a little bit about how the season's a little bit different than the others.
Oh, man. Well, we all live at the end, so that's different.
It's not Game of Thrones. No one's getting killed off. Okay, that's good.
Right. The big difference is Luis, right? Luis was with us for a couple years and then decided to leave and take time off and sell bracelets in Paris or something. So he's not there. And we have Steve, who's awesome. Yeah. And so that was
Steve Gold, he's a new addition.
Yeah, Steve Gold. And that's really the big difference. And then all of us, you know, it's funny because I guess when I started the show, I was 25, I want to say. Wow, yeah. So it's 25, 26. So it's really followed like my entire career. When I started in the business was a year before that show started. Yeah. And then the show started and I had to quickly figure it all out. Now season 6 and going into season 7, it's really just kind of watching us as we grow our own personal lives and our businesses and not just selling individual apartments.
Are you getting comfortable with having those cameras around all the time? I saw there's a couple moments in there where they capture you, you know, the face mask, the dancing, that sort of thing. Is that like second nature now? You don't even think about it?
Oh, man. It's pretty second nature now because we've been doing it for so long. Yeah. It is... but it's always kind of weird. Yeah. But we get used to it. You know, we've been doing it now for 6 years. Yeah. Yeah.
And then in the personal life, that sort of thing, you know, your new wife and everything like that, and sharing those sort of stories on that, is that something you're super comfortable with, or something that you're sort of like, let's keep it out of here, let's try to do this, you know?
I'm a pretty open book. I'm comfortable with it. Amelia, a little less so. You know, she likes to keep certain things private, which I think is good as well. But I've always, you know, I'm in the sales business, so it's all about my personality and what people know about me. And that was a big reason that I did the show in the first place, because it's a great first impression. People already feel like they know me when I walked in the door versus the other 81,000 real estate agents in this city who don't have that opportunity. Yeah, so I think I put a little too much out there sometimes.
Wishing you were in that edit bay. Everyone's like, no, let's leave that out of that.
They used to. It's funny. Bravo used to send us the episodes like on a DVD a week beforehand. I think because they thought it was the right thing to do and they'd want us to write these blogs, but really what it became was a week of like trauma for them, because all three of us would get it, be like, why did you put me in there? Why am I naked? I don't understand. I don't remember that part. And then now they don't. Yeah. Now they're like, watch it live with everybody else.
Well, that's fun. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about the listings this year? I mean, it looks like some insane apartments. I mean, are there some highlights as far as the listings go?
Yeah, I guess we have 2 more episodes left. One is tonight, right? Today, Thursday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. We have one tonight, and then the season finale will be in Paris, and that's next week. Mm-hmm. So everything from $10 million houses on the Upper West Side to, you know, tens upon tens of millions of dollars in buildings around the corner from here. So it's always bigger, bigger, bigger. And the market's also helped us out that way. Yeah. Since we started the show, we started filming in 2010, the market's really picked up with some ebb and flow, but for the most part, the listings just seem to get bigger and bigger and better every day. And people like doing it, which is nice. It'd be much harder if people didn't want to be on it, but it's good for business and it's good for developers, so it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you get stories from people that you've helped set up in apartments. Have people come back to you? Have they told you any stories about the apartments you helped them find and what they've turned it into? Do you stay in touch with your clients after you put them in, set them up in a spot?
Yeah. Follow-up is a huge part of my business. It's most of my, I guess, how I get like referral business, right? It's just constant follow-up, and I haven't been doing this that long. I mean, I got into the business at the end of 2008, so now over the last couple years recently is when those initial clients that I sold apartments to are now looking to move again, which is always kind of fun because it's new for me. For people that have been doing this forever, it's part of the business, but for me, I'm like, oh man, I sold you that one, and now it's worth so much more. Good job to me.
High five.
Yeah. I guess in season 2, I sold an apartment to this woman, Patty, who had a bow store, and she gave me a pig as a gift. And yeah, she gave me a little pig. It's not little anymore. And now they're selling that apartment now in Battery Park, which is cool. So just to see that they've got multiple, her grandchildren running around and just seeing how they've grown up in it. It's cool. It's fun watching people kind of evolve in front of you that way.
Yeah, I mean, people know you from this show, but they might not know that you had a bit of a TV career before this show, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, sort of. You could talk about that a little bit, As the World Turns.
Yeah, the standard path to becoming a real estate broker in New York City. I graduated college in 2006, and I came here to act, and I did theater. I mean, sort of. I did like off Broadway plays. I played a clock once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How's that go? Did you have the hands going?
I did.
Yeah.
Like tick, tock, tick, tock. That was great for like an hour. And it did a lot of other weird things. And then I got cast on a reality show on the internet. It was on CBS.com.
Wow.
I think it's
before
still there.
internet TV was a thing. Now it's like everybody.
Yeah, it was, back when there were a lot more soaps, they were trying to figure out, I think, how to reach a younger audience and all that. But right as reality TV was taking off, so they created a show called Intern. And so I was on season 2 of Intern to get on to As the World Turns. And there were 13 of us, and we lived in a loft in Brooklyn, and I won.
Nice.
Yeah, I won to become the next soap star for 3 months, and then they killed me. And then I had no money and no job, and so I got into hand modeling, and then I was in New York and trying to figure out what to do, and a friend
just
said,
glaze over that, okay?
What glaze over what? What glaze over what part?
Over the killing, the hand modeling, all that sort of thing. I mean, what's it like to be on a soap opera, to have that be your first gig and sort of like live that life? People are so obsessed with that show.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, listen, at the time, I thought I made it. Yeah. This is it. I'm Dr. Evan Walsh IV for life. This is what it's going to be. I'm a biochemist prodigy. I'm going to cure the world. And that's what I started off doing.
Like Joey from Friends. It's
literally what it was. And then, I don't know if you remember, but there was the writer's strike from 2007 into 2008. Right. That happened, and the soaps film an entire episode every single day. Yeah. And they write an entire hour-long drama.
Actors who are like, I would
day.
never be able to do it because it's like you're learning pages on the day.
It's a lot, right? And you get the script the day before, and you try to memorize things that night, and you're rushing through during the day. So you're just trying to get your lines in and move forward. And then the writer's strike happened, and I just got a script once, and it literally said that all of a sudden these people started dying. Yeah. And I was like, weird, I wonder who's killing them all off. And then it was me. And then I was killing all these people off with like my secret syringe as I was losing my mind, apparently.
Sorry, I have to do this.
Yeah, and then I took my grandmother, Lucinda Walsh, hostage in the hospital as I awaited my helicopter to take me to the Caribbean where I could do my research in peace. And then she wrestled the syringe out of my hand into my chest, and I died. My grandmother killed me, and that was the end of my soap days.
Spoiler alert, man. People are going to go back
Oh,
and watch
no,
this.
I'm
Come
sorry. You should check it out. It's on there.
And then how did you find your way into real estate? And obviously now you're killing it. But I mean, when did you decide to make that career change?
I mean, kind of like a lot of people, I had no money. I mean, I was broke. You know, I was living in Koreatown, and I didn't know what else to do. And you know, I did the hand modeling a little bit because it paid some bills. And
Let's see them. Okay, get the camera. Let's get that. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. That'll sell that watch.
If you notice, I don't have a whole lot of, there's no marks. I don't know why I'm talking about this now, but I didn't have a lot of veins in my hands, and so they could pass for anyone's hands. And so you go into these casting rooms, and everyone's hands are like this, draining the blood out of their hands. So when they take their photos, like their headshots, they look nice and clean. Pro tips if you want to be a hand model. Yeah. So a friend of mine from college, he just said, listen, you can't be a hand model your whole life. You get your real estate license and rent apartments during downtime in between auditions and stuff like that. So then that's what I did. And I started renting apartments on 31st Street, 32nd Street, helping people from NYU get their first apartments, you know, their parents as guarantors. And those were my first. I did rentals for like $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. Yeah. And then one of those turned into, hey, I have a little co-op in the financial district. Can you sell that for $360,000? And I was like, sure. Yeah. And then, you know, I just got addicted to, I got addicted to putting in the work and getting results back, right? Whereas a lot of people who get into real estate have a hard time with rejection because they've never been through it before, right? It's like I show you an apartment, and then you disappear, and I'm like, oh, he must have hated me. It's my fault. And then they get out of the business. For me, it was always about the apartments, right? I just came from acting and hand modeling, where people wouldn't like me because of my hands, or people wouldn't like me because of my face, or they'd say, why are you so prematurely gray? That's weird. And in real estate, it was always apartment related and business related, which was totally okay with me. And so I was able to muscle through it those first couple of years, which were hard.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, moving to New York, there's a little bit of a hustle there. So I feel like you had that from the get-go. And also, obviously, getting this show. I mean, there was an open casting with hundreds and thousands of guys who wanted to be on the show, right?
3,000 brokers showed up to the open casting call for that in 2010 at the Hudson Hotel. Yeah. And I've been doing it for less than 2 years, so a year and a half at that point. And it was like, it was either 15-second or 30-second little interviews that they did with us in front of a camera, and then it was out. Like, next one, next one, next one. And then they cut it down, and then we started in December of 2010.
Yeah. And when did you first meet the rest of the cast members? When did you first meet the rest of the brokers, and how did you guys build that relationship?
That relationship. It's so special.
Do you miss them?
Yeah, so much. They're great. Yeah. Like right around then, I think because we found out in December, and then the three of us kind of reached out to one another. And we're like, hey, what's going on? But Frederick and Michael from season one were they were older, more established brokers, and I was a rental broker in Koreatown in the financial district. And I think more people were like, what? Yeah. Who? Yeah.
And then now Steve, you know, how are you guys acclimating him into the group? Are you hazing him? What's that whole process?
Oh, there's a crazy Bravo hazing ritual. It's very, very, we cannot talk about it. I think he's in Ibiza right now, just wallowing in pain and sorrow. There's no hazing. It was good. And we had worked with him in the past before. We've all done deals together. So he was always kind of in our, broker, what do I want to say?
Inner circle,
yeah,
sort
group,
of.
Exactly. Yeah. So, when Luis said that he was leaving, he was one of the people that we said, listen, you should talk to Steve. Maybe he wants to do it.
Yeah. And where do you find that you get most of your apartment leads at this point? I mean, I'm sure you're getting offered all the time, love you to sell this, love to buy this. Mm-hmm. I mean, is it coming through friends of friends? Is it sort of out of the blue because of the show?
It's a mix, honestly. We still do a lot of marketing, and we do a lot of advertising. All exposure is good exposure. So I do as much as I possibly can to let people know that I work with them to buy and sell anything in, New York, the Hamptons, Miami, LA.
There you go.
And then some of it comes from the show, but a lot of what comes from the show are like, I have a horse farm in Panama. Can you come down here and sell that? I'm like, I didn't know there were horse farms in Panama. So there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then, just classic broker stuff, meeting people in the gym, meeting people on the street. That's the best part about New York City. It's that, and that's what I tell my team all the time, is that every single person in this room and every single person out here, they're all clients.
Yeah.
Every single person is a client in some way, some shape or form. And it's the best part about being a real estate broker in New York.
Yeah. I mean, speaking to that note, I feel like there was a Facebook post you made when Leo DiCaprio was filming on a street, and you gave him your card, and you
Oh man, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
This is a couple of years ago. But that's hustle. I mean, what was it like to sort of approach him and you guys have seen
terrifying. Yeah. It's terrifying. Yeah. So I do that all the time, even now, right? With people, just giving people my card and just letting them know. I kind of learned that early on. Like, what's the worst thing that someone can say?
Right.
Like, no, or not take my card? Great. Save that card. That card cost me $1, right? I'll save it for somebody else who wants it. So I've never really been afraid of kind of the rejection that way. You just sort of have to put yourself out there. And now I see it with the people that I hire and the people I work with. I'm always like impressed when people take the initiative to come to me and put themselves out there. So I try to do that as much as possible. And that's what this show is all about.
Yeah. And you've shown him and some other actors some apartments. What's it like to delve in that world where it becomes like sort of that level of client?
It's great, because they are, I think I'm a born creative, and that's why like real estate marketing is so much fun for me. And so working with celebrities and actors and musicians is fun because they come at it from a very different standpoint than everyone on Wall Street that I work with, and everyone in the tech sector. Like, everyone still needs a home, but like it can be fun. And then at the end of the day, you're always dealing with everyone's banker. So kind of always comes down to the same thing.
Yeah. And speaking of movie sets, you did one with Ben Stiller a couple years ago, which you were so great in, man, While We Are Young. Can you tell me about what that experience is like? You were staring him down. He's trying to pitch you a film. That's got to be really fun.
The best experience of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'd always wanted to do like movies when I was a little kid. That was like my thing. I'm going to do that. And then it didn't really work out. So I got into real estate. Yeah. And then, Noah Baumbach and those guys reached out because they were watching $1 Million Listing, and they said, listen, you're funny. You should come in and read. And I was like, what? Really? No, I'm a real estate broker. I don't do movies anymore. Right. And then I went in and auditioned for them, and it was incredibly terrifying. Yeah. Very, very, very terrifying. And then I got it somehow, some way. I still remember that day, and went and shot that.
What was that call like? Was it a call? Was it an email?
The casting director called me as I was showing an apartment on 211th Avenue in the afternoon. He was like, I wanted to call you personally to let you know that you got it. I was like, are you serious?
Your broker's going to be in a Ben Stiller movie. You better buy this.
Right. But actually, so it was kind of random because then your real estate broker is on a TV show and then doing a movie. But then that movie aired on, every airplane. And so clients would reach out to me like, hey, I've been meaning to reach out to you. Totally forgot. Anyway, you're staring at me on JetBlue right now, like talking to Ben Stiller. I have no idea what's going on, but let's meet next week about selling my apartment. I was like, yes, it worked.
Yeah, exactly. That's that marketing, man. That creative marketing. I love
man, you
it.
got to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere at all times. That's what I try to do.
Yeah. I mean, were you guys improvising that stuff? I mean, the writing I'm sure was so good, but those lines are so great. The whiskey or the.
Yes. Yeah. No. You did see it. I
wasn't lying.
No. It's Noah Baumbach wrote it, and he's one of the best and amazing. And you stick to the script because the script is the word. Yeah.
Did that whet the appetite for more films, or obviously you have your own show, Sell It Like Serhant?
Yeah, Sell It Like Serhant. Yeah, that we're doing for Bravo. I would totally do another one. It's just hard. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work, and my first priority is real estate and my clients here. And this show films all the time, right? It takes us like 9 months out of the year to make one season. And then in the other 3 months now, I'm doing Sell It Like Serhant, which is a totally different show, but it's really like, it's like a passion project for me because it's working with individual salespeople from totally different jobs that are not real estate and helping them through their struggles, both like life and professional, right? And helping them learn how to sell better. And it's out of water for me because I've never sold hot tubs before, and I've never sold sheep.
How do you sell a hot tub? Do you get in the hot tub?
You have to tune in to watch. It is selling anything is all kind of the same because we're all salespeople, whether we think we are or not. But there are little details that come into kind of how you work with different people based on what they're buying, whether it's golf balls or whether they're buying hot tubs or cabinets. We're doing one of the episodes we start doing tomorrow morning in Staten Island with a guy who sells cabinets for kitchens. And I deal with kitchens all the time, but it's different to think about how you would sell like an architect or a designer or a new family cabinet. So it's a very different demographic than $1 Million Listing, right?
Do you find yourself like criticizing people's sales skills like in normal day life, like when you're going into like a clothing store or something like that? Like, no, really sell it to me. I want this vest. Come on.
Kind of. Actually, I'm like everybody else. I don't really like to be sold. Yeah. So it's, sometimes you're like, oh, don't sell me. I'm just here for the shoes. Yeah. But I'm impressed when people do try to sell me and they use creative ways. And I'll always tell people, I'm like, listen, I actually don't want that membership, but you just did a good job. Yeah. I was this close. Yeah. You didn't get it, but I was this close, and I appreciate it very, very much.
Yeah, I love that. So how much more of the shooting you have to do for your spin-off show? When can we see that?
A while. We'll go through like probably October. Yeah. I think so, and then it'll air sometime next year. Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be different. It'll be me in overalls and prom dresses and waxing myself and figuring out how to do all these different sales scenarios. Yeah. But also, I think it'll be incredibly relatable for people. Anyone who has any type of job anywhere, selling anything, whether it's paper clips or $100 million houses, right? This is a show where people will be able to watch it and say, oh, wow, I think I can take that and apply it to my business with this guy I got to go see tomorrow. Or even job interviews or school interviews and tuitions and all that stuff. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And as for the rest of the series, where do you see this? How long do you see this going on? Do you love the process of creating $1 Million Listing and filming the show?
I'll do this until they kill me off, right? That's kind of like my run.
Until you're out there with a syringe,
exactly.
Getting
until I show up one day and it's just Luis back from Paris. He's like, ah, yeah. So yes, that is true. And then the Sell Like Serhant, I'll do as long as they have me. There's salespeople. Right now, we're kind of keeping it to New York because it's hard to do both in business and showing apartments in real life and also doing all of these shows. And I'd like to branch it out. Take it to different states and see what it's like for what it's like to sell, I don't know, farms in Texas and fun stuff like that.
Do you have a landmark or a part in your career that you want to get to, or is the next phase for you, or like selling a certain house or a certain apartment?
More.
Yeah.
There's more.
There's always more.
Yeah, just progress. That's always been my thing, is that if I'm not doing more today than I was doing yesterday, then I just don't sleep well at night. So it's consistent progress, and that's what happiness is, right? Progress is happiness for me. So, I'd love to sell the Empire State Building if someone would let me. I guess that's my answer to you, but that's my landmark. If I could sell that thing, maybe I'll check out, right? I'll go back to Greece forever.
I like that. We have some questions in the audience, so we're going to start right there.
Hello.
Hi.
What moment between any of the seasons of $1 Million Listing was the most uncomfortable to watch back?
Oh, man. That's a good one. Probably last week, to be honest. My mind first goes to like my wedding and the wedding spinoff that we did, but that wasn't uncomfortable. There were some uncomfortable moments because it was so personal and very different from showing apartments. But this last year was hard, and I had so much work, and it was so overwhelming, and they kind of showed a lot of that. And so the moments when I'm with my therapist, which is such like a private thing that you don't ever talk to anyone about except, I decided to do it with the camera in my face, is always weird because I get nervous about, like everybody, like being judged and seeing what people are going to think. And, but mostly, people are pretty supportive. And so we'll see what happens tonight. I actually haven't watched it yet. I don't know how I end up, so we'll see. I hope it's going to be okay.
Screaming at people in iPhones, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, man, that is happening. Yes. Yes.
Okay, next question.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
First of all, I love the show so much.
Oh, thanks.
Second, what is your favorite ad gimmick that you've done for the show? Because I remember the one with the car and the elevator and the commercial. Yeah. So which one has been your favorite on the show? My favorite that's worked, or my favorite that I've just done? That didn't work.
But that was pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun doing that and getting the helicopters and the Ferraris and all that. That was the apartment that I was standing in when I got the call that I was doing While We're Young, actually, at 211th Avenue. My other favorite gimmick, I've done so many. I would say we did a marketing campaign for a building in the East Village, 100 Avenue A, that they followed us doing last year, where we took people and we body painted them and made that into the marketing. So we wouldn't just have regular renderings. We'd have like people from the East Village, and we body painted them so that they would fit inside the rendering. And then we took naked people and we painted them with the address, and then we put that over the entire building as the scaffolding. That might have been my favorite. And it worked, and the building sold out. Some people are like, that'll never work, or oh, that's crazy. But it's, it's all about, you got to grab attention, right? There's so much competition out there all the time, all these buildings, there's so much. So you got to make sure people pay attention.
There you go. Good advice. One last question.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, man.
I was wondering if some of your acting skills or training, have you been able to apply that to selling houses and retail?
All of them, like right now. It's improv the most, right? Improv the most. I guess, honestly, all of them. Acting was a lot of memorization of lines. So there's, when you're selling something, it comes down to your personality, and how well you're able to improvise with the person in front of you, and then your knowledge of the product. A lot of people have one or the other, right? You can't just have knowledge of the product and then have no personality. Otherwise, people aren't going to know how to connect with you and emotionally connect with you. And then you can be everyone's best friend, but if you don't know anything or don't know what you're selling or why you should pay that amount for that apartment versus the other, then people aren't going to trust you. So it's got to be a mixture of both. So the memorizing of product and knowing every single thing that's on the market came in helpful with kind of the studying lines for the soap and studying lines my whole life, right, as I was learning and studying to be an actor. And then the improv classes are something that I still have my team do now. It's the most important, the ability to say yes to any situation and to adapt to kind of any objection, because no one wants to buy anything. Inside they do, they like shopping, but when they say, well, I don't know if I want to do that, a lot of people will say, okay, because they don't want to upset them. But improv teaches you to say, well, no, that doesn't work for me, right? Why not? Ask questions. Let's see. Let's listen. Let's figure out what your fears are, right? Why really don't you want to buy that? Let's talk about it, and maybe we can work it out and figure out a creative solution. And so I think, if I could go back in time, I would have done even more improv to make me a better salesperson.
Well, guys, see more of that on $1 Million Listing, and thanks for being here, Ryan. Tonight, exactly. Tune in, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Round of applause, guys.